Welcome to Speed Talking with Fora, a weekly debrief that keeps you up to date on the latest trends in travel. Here's your host, Henley Vazquez.
Hey everybody, this is Henley. I'm the co-founder of Fora, a modern travel agency aimed at empowering anybody who loves travel to have a job in travel advising. So today in this episode of Speed Talking, we're going to be talking about sports and travel. And this is not my forte. Travel, I know everything about. I can talk to you about any hotel you want. Sports, I'm a little bit confused. No one ever taught me to throw a ball. So I'm using the phone a friend option today and bringing in Charles Fisher, who is an NFL agent with Roc Nation, also played for the Bengals, also worked for the Seahawks. So when it comes to football and really anything throwing or catching a ball related, this guy's got it. So today we are going to talk a lot about the kickoff of football season, both NFL and college. We're going to start off with talking about why is sports such big business? Charles, do you think sports is big business?
Yes, because everyone wants to go see their favorite team and they take it as kind of a mini vacation. A lot of people take the family, introduce the kids to the new team or the team that they cheer for, and just take the weekend and just go kind of hang out and have a good time.
So would you ever guess that there is $590 billion spent last year globally on sports tourism? That's expected to grow to $690 billion this year. It's like a crazy amount of money being spent. So we're thinking about it like, oh, somebody drives over to see a game. They have a pizza. It's all good. They tailgate a little bit, but it turns out it's way bigger business than coming up. The biggest thing on the horizon for a lot of folks is the Paris Olympics next summer. I think for a lot of us in travel, we have PTSD about the Tokyo Olympics and when everything got canceled and everybody was scrambling for refunds. It's not happening again. It's happening in Paris. We could all go to Paris and count on things actually moving forward. There is still availability in the hotels. Get in touch with your travel advisor if you're trying to find a super chic place to stay while you go watch. I don't know. What are the best sports in the Summer Olympics? Swimming,
100-meter dash,
100-meter dash,
relays.
relays. People doing really athletic things in France. This sounds fantastic. You can still get in. But really, we're going to focus a little bit more on what happens closer to home because although Paris Olympics is really fun and exotic, it's also very expensive. And there's things that we can do close to home when we are thinking about the football season. Now, I should say that this is not all affordable because there are as much as charter airlines chartering jets on game day to fly people around. This can be very high level, but it can also be a little bit more mellow. So today, kickoff of the NFL season, that is Kansas City, Detroit, two places that have some great hotels to stay, well, particularly Detroit. What's the favorite one there?
The Shillos? Oh, the Shillitoes?
Shinola, come on, Shinola. My dad was a Detroit guy. I'm obsessed with the Shinola brand. They've got a hotel. They've also got a super cool shop here in New York, which I should mention. New York is actually a great sports town.
It is.
Good sports bars, couple of teams. Although recently there was something that said that Giants fans were the least intelligent football fans. I'm really going to take issue with that as the mother of a Giants fan. So, but going into college football, because you spend a lot of time scouting college players, what do you think are some of the best college towns for somebody to visit for real game day vibes?
Well, this week I'm going to the Penn State West Virginia game. It's going to be a whiteout. So if you look at it on TV, you'll see 100,000 white shirts in the stands and fireworks everywhere. Outside of the stadium, they have a RV city, and the tailgate's really good there. They're also playing against West Virginia, where I went to school, which is also a very good liquored up tailgate before every game.
Aren't all the tailgates liquored up?
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. The world's biggest cocktail party is a game between Georgia and Florida, which is in Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville has a few hotels that are, right in the area where you can attend this game. But outside of that game, there's nothing but tailgating and drinking going on. There's a couple other cool places where you can tailgate. The University of Washington, the University of Tennessee, you can actually drive your boat up to the game and you can watch a game at both of those locations. But college football is really big. Anyone that ever went to a school that has college football wants to go back and see their school and show their family and their kids the place where they actually had their higher education.
So going to a lot of these college towns, I mean, it's one thing where we're talking about like football games, that's NFL, it's big cities, there's places to go. College towns, it can be a little bit harder to find like the right hotel to stay in. Do you have any brands that stand out that are like, look for this one?
The Graduate, it's something that Peyton Manning has got himself involved with the Manning family, and they're synonymous with football, and they're popping up all over college towns that have big football stadiums like Michigan and Penn State, Washington, Oregon. So they have a lot of graduates popping up around the country, and it's a good stay.
Yeah, I do like that those exist in places that are like where you might otherwise just be in kind of some random hotel. They've got a bit of a vibe and like good design and well priced most of the time, although obviously on a game day, prices are going to go up. Um, okay, so what about Kansas City? Is there like any good place to stay there? I think of it as known for its barbecue, but like not really known for its hotels.
Absolutely. One of my favorite hotels around the country, 21C. If you're an art fan, it's a must go to. You can get a nice, uh, luxurious slash different type room, but downstairs you can go and see some of the best art that the state and the country owns. It's really, really cool and kind of quirky a little bit, but it's very good.
Huh. I had no idea they opened there. I always think of them as like the hardest place to get for the Kentucky Derby. I didn't realize they're also in Kansas City now. So, all right, Chiefs, you got a good place to stay now when you go and see them.
Yeah, one or two.
What about Super Bowl? That's going to happen this year, and that's going to happen in Vegas. That is a place that has no shortage of good hotels, no shortage of good restaurants. What are your favorites there? Where should you stay for Super Bowl if you're lucky enough to get a ticket?
Well, if you're lucky enough to get a ticket, first of all, the NFL is going to block out half the hotel. So you should probably book your hotel right now if you can. Yes. Some of my favorites, the Win, Encore. Those are two of the favorites, two of the best out there. They have great food. Um, they have great pool scenes. They have great gambling if that's your thing. And they're very classy hotels.
So I was just coming back from Vegas and I drove past the Four Seasons, which I had been all about for Super Bowl because it's directly across from the stadium. The thing that I realized as I was driving past is like, I'm not really sure how you get across that highway, but it is worth noting that at least in terms of proximity, so like shortest Uber ride, I don't think you can't really walk many places in Vegas anyhow. Four Seasons is like looking at the stadium, but none of the rest of them are very far away. I also love Wynn for being like still kind of a vibey hotel, but a little bit less crazy than some of the other ones, including the Bellagio and Aria, where I just came from. What about football outside of the US? Because the NFL goes to London and is now expanding to other places in Europe too.
Yeah. So this year, the NFL has two games in London. They also have two games in Germany. Germany's a big, big hub for football. When the NFL had NFL Europe, Germany was the favorite location for those teams. They had them in a few different locations. Um, as far as football in London, the last few years, they've been over there, and it's kind of like the true football fans with also the European experience that wants to come and kind of see what this is all about. Some of them know when to cheer and don't know when to cheer, but it's a little different in a soccer game, right? But nonetheless, those games are sold out and they're all fun.
Yeah. And the thing that I think is super cool about London is if you're a mega sports fan, it's the fall. You can go over, you can catch NFL in Europe and you can, well, I guess it's not Europe anymore with Brexit, but NFL in the UK. And you can also see a Premier League game. So like go see Tottenham play on their field and then go see an American football team play on their field too and stay in amazing hotels. I mean, London is full of like, you can't even name it. And every time I try to say all the good hotels in London, there's another one opening. So Mandarin Oriental opening another location, Baybourne opening another location, Peninsula is coming to London. There's sort of endless of the high end options, plus really cool stuff like Hoxton or Nobu, and some of those like cooler brands, the Ned, which we love. All of those are options for staying in the city, so you can get like that cool city vibe, but also a ton of sports. Great if you've got one person who's really into sports and one person who doesn't know anything about them. Everybody's happy. Okay, well, that is our episode of Sports in Travel this week. Obviously, there's so much more to talk about. We're in New York right now with the US Open going on. People are traveling for all of this stuff. So, guys, call your travel agent. Travel advisors know how to get you in to the right places. Find yourself a hotel. Give us a ring. We got you. Next week, we will be talking about sleeper hits, which is another thing you need to talk to us about because we can tell you the hotels you don't know about, also the games you don't know about. Thanks so much for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't travel too far before hitting follow and subscribe. Check in next week for the newest episode of Speed Talking with Fora and our take on what's currently happening in the wild world of travel.